We will start the webinar soon. I'll just introduce Miss Yurei. She is the country manager for University of Tasmania. So she will be the one conducting the webinar for today. I will leave it to her to introduce a little bit about herself. And if you have any questions, feel free to uh, put into the chat box, or you can just email to any of our regional marketing manager for youth education after the session. We will allocate about 15 minutes time towards the end of the session for Q&A. Yeah, so I leave it to you, Yuri.
Hi, thanks, Katie. Katie, thank you so much for the introduction. Hello, everybody. My name's Ray. Some of my colleagues know me as Ray. If you guys find it easier to address me that way. So I'm the country representative for the University of Tasmania, currently based in Singapore. In the Southeast Asia region, our regional development manager will relocate to Singapore in the month of June. So I'm currently in Malaysia. Sorry, I'm currently in Malaysia. Yep, so this is a general presentation to let you guys know a rough introduction into the university. And if, let's say, if it's information overload, just let me know, and then, or if I'm going too fast, I'm happy to slow down for everybody. All right, so normally when I start off my presentation, I would like to let people have a look at this video. Oops. Because this is actually a very good video which can be found on YouTube to let students and parents have an idea of how Tasmania looks like. Because I don't know if you have spoken to parents and students, they would have the misconception that Tasmania might be a very rural, too quiet of an area that they are afraid of. But this video will show them and reassure them that it is a self-sufficient town all by itself. So here we go. Hi, sorry, I realized just now that I think for most of you, you couldn't hear the music from the video. A little bit technical glitch there. My apologies. But like I've mentioned, you can actually find the same video clip on YouTube, and you'll be able to re-enjoy the video again there. Right. So one fun fact about Tasmania is that we are the only state in the entire of Australia to be able to see southern light. And it's because to the close proximity that we have to the South Pole. So, and also the coldness that we experience, we are the only state in Australia that is able to enjoy that. Now, just to let you have a rough idea, so Tasmania is actually the only state that is an island, which is below the mainland of Australia. So if let's say when you're in Australia in general, they actually like to refer the rest of Australia as mainland, and then Tasmania by itself. And then within Tasmania, Hobart is our capital city. And then, and then Launceston is our second biggest city. So what happened? So if you see here, even though Tasmania state looks relatively small from this whole map. However, the distance between Hobart and Launceston is a good 300 plus kilometers, which will take a student by a coach to be about 3 hours journey from Hobart to Launceston. And the University of Tasmania actually has campuses in both Hobart and Launceston. Now, the state of Tasmania itself actually does not have an international airport. The strip available at the airport only caters for domestic transfer. Therefore, students are advised to take a domestic internal flight either from Melbourne, Sydney, or Brisbane. So normally I would personally recommend Melbourne, simply because the Melbourne domestic and international airport are within the same building, whereas in Sydney they will need to take a shuttle in between two airports. But if let's say they are going to be in Sydney for longer before they transfer down to Tasmania, it really is up to parents and students. So a lot of them, travel via Melbourne and Sydney equally. Right. So this is actually how Tasmania look in from a bird's eye view. So if you see here, there is a tall building just by the edge of the water. That is actually the tallest building that you can find in the whole of Tasmania. So this lets you know roughly that Tasmania is not a metropolitan city like Melbourne or Sydney. In fact, we are quite the opposite. Even though in the city center, which is the Hobart area here, you find more tall buildings, but it is not as congested and as compared to the bigger city like Melbourne and Sydney. And the airport is actually just a good 20 minutes away from the university itself. And so everywhere is actually quite accessible. Now, according to the Global Peace Index as well as air quality rating, Tasmania is actually one of the area whereby we have the best water and air quality and relatively safe as general compared to other education destination preferred by students. So if let's say parents are worried and they prefer somewhere that is relatively safer, Australia in general is actually a recommended place. So these statistics can actually be found online as well. Right. So this one is actually to let you know the life in Tasmania, living in Tasmania itself. Just hold on a moment. Let me see if I can get the.
I was very nervous. It was my first time leaving home.
It's a really big transition for me coming from such a far away country down to Hobart. But when I arrived, there were so many people. I keep
Hi, right. I understand that it might not be too helpful to share video on this presentation. So perhaps if there's any upcoming video, I will just briefly skip through. But I understand from Katie that a copy of this presentation can be sent to any one of you if you guys can reach out to her. All right. So the University of Tasmania, a little bit about the history. We are the fourth oldest university that exists in Australia. So that gives us a good rich history into our research and establishment in total. And in the entire state of Tasmania, we are the only one university there, with approximately, as of now, the student population as of 2019 this year is about 35,000 students in total, and close to 20% are international. So because this presentation was prepared last year for agent training, but the number has been revised. This year, we have close to 35,000 in total of students, and close to 20% are international. Okay, and according to the world ranking, you can find us in top 2% globally across all sorts of ranking, top 50 in Asia Pacific region under Times Higher Education ranking, and 48 out of 51 of our disciplines are at or above world standard in the Australia government's Excellence in Research Award. So if let's say students are actually thinking of pursuing a master's and PhD, we are definitely one of the best choice for them if let's say they are looking into research masters and PhD as well. All right, and then subject ranking. If you actually look into in general for marine and freshwater biology, fishery, or let's say oceanography, we are definitely on top of the chart for all these kind of ranking per se. It's partly due to the ideal situation where Tasmania is located, because our neighbor is just New Zealand, and down south to us is actually South Pole already. So our ocean and our surrounding environment is relatively unpolluted. That's why it gives us more marine biodiversity for students to study, as well as for researchers to base their research there. And for law, this is one of our proud subject as well. For Bachelor of Law, the University of Tasmania is ranked at 61 by the Times Higher Education. And even though we are ranked that highly, we are also one of the smaller law schools that you can find in the whole of Australia. So that gives you and reassurance that we are definitely offering quality education to students. So if let's say you are more interested in our QS ranking, you can look into them individually, as I will not dwell into them that way. So first off, I would like to actually introduce the courses that we have in general. So depending the area that it is where you guys are from, we would have different courses that is more appealing towards your market domain. So in a nutshell, the University of Tasmania actually offers a range of courses from architecture to agriculture, engineering, music, creativity, performing arts, business, arts and social science, and you know, into the more professional ones like law, maritime studies, science, computing, IT, medicine, pharmacy, nursing, psychology, all these courses that you can actually find from our website. So I'm going to move out of this presentation and then redirect you to my university's website, yeah? So if you can see here, if you type in www.utas.edu.au, you will actually come to the University of Tasmania's landing page. And here are actually links that will bring you straight to the courses itself. Now, because I normally take care of the Malaysia, Singapore, and Brunei region, and so courses such as medicine, law and pharmacy are more popular amongst the students here. But what you can do is you can actually go and download a copy of the prospectus, which actually looks like this. This is our University of Tasmania's International Course Guide for 2019. And this is also the material that we use to distribute during fairs and activities as well. So if you would kindly, once you have this, you just draw it all the way to the back, and you will find that all the courses available for international students are actually available behind here. So for example, if let's say students are interested to do engineering per se, this is our maritime engineering course. It is a 4 years degree, and the price is approximately 37,250 Australian dollar annually. If you can see here, the ATA score required is actually listed as 70 out of 100. But if let's say you are coming from a different region out of Australia or a country that doesn't use ATA score, you can actually go to the back here where we actually have an ATAR conversion table. And then if we scroll into it and we see here, for example, just now we mentioned we need 70 ATAR for my engineering, which we can see that it's here, ATAR 70, this one here. If let's say students currently hold an A-levels results, I would need an equivalent of 8 points from their A2 examination. So how to calculate the points, it is mentioned as here. And then as long as students are able to achieve 8 points, together with any subject prerequisite, just let me just a moment. Sorry, technical area, a little technicality here. Let me try this again. Right, okay, let me start from the top once more. Okay, so this, if actually you can download a copy of the International Course Guide. This is how it looks like, our International Course Guide for 2019. And if you scroll down all the way to the back of the course guide, you'll find that all the courses are listed here, are available for international students. So it's a good few pages of for students to look at. So just now I actually use engineering as an example. Perhaps let's try something else this time. Perhaps let's look at pharmacy. So for my Bachelor of Pharmacy under the Health and Medical school, it is a 4-year course at approximately 32,450. And if you see here, the entry score that is required under ATAR score, it is listed here as 80 out of 100, together with chemistry and mathematics as a subject prerequisite. Now, should let's say your students do not come using an ATAR scoring system, you can actually flip to the back of the prospectus and find that we actually have an ATAR conversion table here. Should let's say your student come from region using an A-levels qualification, under the ATAR 80 scoring, it is equivalent to 10 A-level points. So how do we determine how to calculate A-levels? The details are all here. As long as students are able to meet 10, which is equivalent to the 80 ATAR scoring system, students will be able to get an offer into the Bachelor of Pharmacy program. Bear in mind, we do have a soft quota cap for Bachelor of Pharmacy. So students will have to apply on a first come, first served basis. Some other qualifications, such as IB, are here to be found as well. We also recognize qualifications from Bangladesh, Bhutan, Canada, China, Fiji, India will be here. Indonesia would be over on the other side here, SMA3. So if let's say you come by a student which the ATAR conversion is not found on this international prospectus, I would highly suggest that you send in and let them know it will be on a case-to-case assessment basis. So we will not upfront reject any students, but we will look into their individual cases to see if we can get them across the line and to offer them an offer or not. Okay, right. Now, let me go into course details, okay? Oh, bummer. Just a minute. Right. So if let's say you go to the www.utas.edu.au, you will come to this page whereby it is our main homepage for students and also for agents to look for information. Now, there are a few courses that I would like to draw your attention to, whereby it is especially the strength for the University of Tasmania. So to begin with, I would like to introduce Marine and Antarctic Science. One thing I appreciate about students who want to study marine and Antarctic science, they would actually have done their studies and know that we are one of the best universities in the world to study marine biology. So under this marine and Antarctic science, you will find that marine biology is one of our major that can allow students to study and explore careers as a marine biologist worldwide. So if let's say parents are worried and not too sure what kind of career students would have, we actually have a list of it written here on the website as well. So you will have to prepare students, telling them that it is not some fancy career that they will be doing. At times, this type of job can be quite mundane because most of the time they are mainly doing data analysis as well as data collection. But it is definitely a career of passion if students want to explore this pathway down the road. And then if you scroll down, we will actually come to a course structure whereby you can show students, for example, if they want to do a marine biology specialization, in that major, they will be covering all this kind of subject. And all this subject are definitely very chemistry and science based. So if students are coming in and wish to do a marine biology major as their degree, they will have to have chemistry. If let's say a student come in without a chemistry background, we are able to take them in under the marine and Antarctic governance specialization, whereby they will be doing more things like law, system, politics, policy, international relations, conservatory management, related kind of subject, whereby they can still be personally involved in the marine and Antarctic field of studies, but they are more towards the management side of things instead of being the scientist of the marine biology. All right, I hope I make sense. Right, so that is our marine biology major. So let's go back. And the other degree that I would like to introduce to all of you is actually the maritime engineering. So if you click into the maritime studies here, you will find that there are courses on this web page under the AMC, Australian Maritime College, and it is a course whereby no other university in Australia actually offers it. We are the only one university in Australia that offers maritime related studies, and we are definitely one of the few founding universities in the world that offers it as well. So when student comes to you and they would like to pursue a career that is in maritime, we actually have two types of career. Number one, if you can see the top three here that has Bachelor of Applied Science title, these are majors where students are required to have sea time. So these students typically are the ones that would be pilot, crew deck hands, and work all their way up to a captain's title. So it is very important that students are prepared for sea time, because it is not a 1 or 2 days out in the sea type of career. They will be required to do at least 3 to 6 months out in the sea training, because during the studies itself, we already ask students to have sea training before they can graduate from this degree. So if we can see here, the Bachelor of Applied Science, we have year 1, phase 1, where they will do pre-sea engine 1 semester at AMC, plus mandatory short courses. After which, in phase 2, they will be doing sea training. Students will require to keep a logbook of how long of a sea voyage that they have. This way, we will have an idea whether or not students have collected sufficient experience before they can proceed on into year 2, phase 3 of their course. Then after studying in year 2, they will actually go out to sea again before they come back and do their year 3 of studies in the university. Now, typically we would gauge that the course in total for this whole studies duration to be approximately 4 years, but we do experience where students, when they do their sea training, they drag longer than half a year. Therefore, their degree will be dragged out for more than 4 years. So, but however, one thing that students need to pay attention to is that when they come on board to apply for any of our applied sciences under the AMC courses, they are expected to have their own attachment to go out in the sea, because of all of our degree. The sea training students are the ones that we cannot guarantee and help them to look for a work placement. All right, now moving on to the degree related to marine time, however, does not require them to have sea time, would be the marine offshore engineering, naval architecture, as well as ocean engineering. So these students will come through as a normal engineering student doing 4 years of degree, and doesn't require sea time as well. Doesn't require sea time at all. Now, naval architecture is actually a career whereby students learn how to design any vessel that moves on water or in water. So if you can see amongst the description here, they can learn how to design and construct luxury super yacht, sailing, powercraft, destroyer, patrol boats, and so forth. So anything that's related to a vessel that moves on water or in water, including submarine, students will be able to learn from this degree. If, let's say, students are more into, let's say, the mechanical side of things, they can actually consider ocean engineering, because ocean engineering is more towards like, they can consider marine and offshore engineering. Sorry, let's skip down to marine and offshore engineering, because marine and offshore engineering typically is, we call it in layman terms, the mechanical and electrical engineering of maritime studies. So whoever students from the naval architecture design a new, let's say, cruise ship, then marine and offshore engineering students can actually design a new ship system to be implemented into this new cruise ship, because obviously not every system will fit into this newly designed cruise ship, you see. Now, the other part of engineering, which is called the ocean engineering, this one is more similar to civil and structural engineering, but it is conducted at a coastal and subcoastal area. So for example, they can learn how to design and build oil rigs, wind farm, ports, and if any one of you know that currently between Hong Kong as well as China, there's this really long and massive underwater tunnel. Those are actually the job of an ocean engineer, because because the knowledge of an maritime student is very different from a normal engineering as well as structural civil students. They will need to learn how to deal with seabed, wave, current, as well as all those bubble type of gas that is related within the sea area. So I hope I make sense. If any questions, I'm happy to answer after that. So if actually we scroll down to the course structure area, you will see that we split it up into introductory, intermediate, as well as advanced and honors level. So students, if they are curious to find out what are the things and what are the specific subject, then you are able to show them here from the course structure part of the website. All right. One thing I would like to point out is that this marine, our AMC courses is actually recognized worldwide. However, students need to pay attention is that it is a very specific and professional career. It will not be as easy as a normal engineering student to look for a job, but at the same time, these specialized maritime professional students will have a better job career as compared to normal engineering students. All right, okay. I understand we have some students who are looking more towards certain quota-based kind of career. We do have including nursing, education. Medicine is definitely quota-based as we only have 20 international seats available every year. So this is a highly competitive courses. If student wants to join us, they will need to score as high as possible together with entrance exam as part of their application document for us to assess their eligibility. All right. Now, one thing I would like to point out about our normal engineering courses is that most university would embed the courses with work placement. In some country, we call it internship. But one thing that we are quite proud is that our engineering courses comes with not one, but 2 work placement semester. So if actually we look into the year 2, 1 work placement will be under here, work placement A. And as mentioned, other than my maritime engineering, other than my maritime engineering, the other courses that we have listed work placement here, students do not need to worry because the university will be able to secure a work placement for them. And so, for example, my Bachelor of Engineering, we have 2 work placement embedded within the course itself. That way, students will be able to graduate with at least 2 different work experience before they graduate. And that, of course, that will also make students to be a little bit more job ready and well prepared upon graduation. All right, great. if let's say any of your students are interested to take on the Bachelor of Law, one thing my Bachelor of Law student needs to understand is that we have a slightly different course structure as compared to the rest of the Australia. So our Bachelor of Law, it is definitely a 4 years law degree. All right. When student enter, student will go through a year 1 where they will do 2 subjects related to law plus 6 subjects from another faculty. The reason why we are doing this is so that students, when they come towards the first year of their studies, if let's say they choose not to continue on with the law degree, they will have the option to exit the law degree and complete in another degree. Normally students will take it under Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Business, and then they do not have to repeat the entire year 1 again, as they have already done 6 units here under the law faculty. Once students have sailed through their year 1 of their studies, then only they will begin to study all law subject heavily focused, starting in year 2 all the way until they graduate in year 4. Okay, so if let's say students come to you and they want to study the law, you can give them a little bit of mental prep, saying that this is the design of the University of Tasmania's law degree. So our law degree is actually recognized to be practiced in Singapore, in Malaysia, as well as Sri Lanka as well. So students can come and study with us with safe part lah. So no need to worry if let's say they go back to their home country, they are not able to practice this degree. Okay? Right. I am happy to actually open up the floor to anybody who wants to find out and see what are the degree that you would like me to further explain. I'm happy to do so. Hi, BJ. Hi, BJ. I see that you have raised your hand there. Is there anything that you would like to find out, or I can do for you?
So we have a question here. Can you explain more about nursing in Utah?
That is nursing, is it, Katie?
Yeah, it's nursing.
Okay, so for my Bachelor of Nursing, the University of Tasmania actually have 2 types of nursing courses. One, we call it the standard nursing course, which you can see from here. The standard nursing course is a 3 years nursing course where it is priced at approximately 31,950 Australian dollar per year. All right, students will have to compete in this nursing course because we only have a good 40 places available for this nursing course. and it is definitely on a first come first serve basis. Now, the entry requirement normally for studies is just a good ATA 65 or higher. But one thing students will need to pay attention is that nursing would require students to complete an IELTS of 7.0 with no band less than 7.0 to come in. So my usual experience is that students are normally struggling with the IELTS and not their results. This is the standard nursing, as I've mentioned, a 3 years program. However, if you find that you have a student who wish to complete their nursing faster, you will see that I have 2 more nursing degree here. One listed as Fast Track Hobart and one listed as Fast Track Roselle. Now, for these fast track, students will be able to complete their nursing course within 2 years' time. Okay, the biggest difference between these 2 courses, which is the normal standard nursing and the fast track nursing, is that standard nursing students will do 2 semesters in a year to complete their degree, and they will complete it in 3 years' time for a total of 6 semesters. However, with fast track nursing, students actually need to complete 3 semesters in a year, which makes that they have no summer break at all, and complete all 6 semesters within 2 years' time. Okay. The tuition fee will be calculated based on per semester, and students will in total in a year, if they're taking the fast track one, will amount up to about 42,000 Australian dollar per year or more for their tuition fee annually. But the good news is that students are able to spend less on their living cost. One thing that I would like to mention is that for all of our fast track nursing, students will need to have a slightly higher ATA or equivalent studies to join us in the program, because it is definitely an accelerated program. So students will have to have a little bit better foundation of subject knowledge before they join us on this program. Now, for all of our Bachelor of Nursing program, it is recognized by our Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, short for APRA. So upon graduating from this program, students will be able to register as professional practice nursing once they graduate. Do bear in mind, my nursing fast track program has a smaller quota space available as compared to the standard nursing. And so students will have to apply much earlier ahead.
Hi, great. So I'd like to ask, if student does not meet the IELTS 7.0, can it be packaged with the English course?
Sorry, Katie, could you repeat that?
If the student does not meet the requirement for IELTS 7.0, overall band of 7.0, so can it be packaged with an English course?
Yes, definitely. If students do not meet the IELTS of 7.0, we are happy to package it with an English course before the start of the program. Bear in mind, nursing is only offered once a year, which starts February every year. Depending on how many weeks of English student will require, we will have to plan accordingly before the start of the program. So typically, need, if let's say student is only missing 0.5 in one component of the IELTS, as per experience, they would only need to do a 5-week English course before the start of their degree. But then if let's say students are missing more than 0.5, then it is up to my admissions to decide how many weeks of English a student will need.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions from the floor? Okay, we have another question. What is the minimum IELTS score to join English course, study course?
So the minimum IELTS that students will need is actually as low as 4.0 overall, with no band less than 3.5. But that is like the minimum ones, and then students will have to do many weeks of English course before they are able to start with the program, because that is considered level 1 in our level of measurement, and anything below that we are not able to accept anymore.
Okay, thanks. Can you share a little bit about the scholarship?
Right. So University of Tasmania actually has something called the Tasmanian International Scholarship, which is actually a 25% tuition fee reduction every year of their studies. Now, this Tasmanian International Scholarship is applicable for all courses, and it does not have any quota at all. It is unlimited for all courses except for medicine course. Okay, so if you can see here, we call it short for TIS, Tasmanian International Scholarship, and it is a 25% reduction in registered tuition fee for the entire duration of their course. How will students qualify for this scholarship is that students will need to score 10 ATA points or higher or equivalent in their final results to be able to get this. So for example, let's go back to my course guide. Okay, so back to my course guide. If let's say students are looking to study Bachelor of Nursing with us, okay, this is Bachelor of Nursing here, and we see here that the ATA score required is a total of 65. All right, with a 65, and if let's say they have met all the prerequisite, students will be able to enter, but without the Tasmanian International Scholarship. They would need to score 10 ATA points or higher, which is a minimum of 75. Only they will be eligible for the TIS scholarship. Now, 75, if we go back down to our ATA conversion, if they are coming with an A-levels results, 75 ATA is equivalent to 9 A-level points. Okay, 75, 9 A-level points. Only they will be awarded the TIS scholarship for the entire duration of their studies.
Okay, thank you, Yuri. So is there any other questions before we wrap up today's webinar? Okay, it seems that there are no other questions. If you come across anything that you like to ask, you can ask the regional marketing manager, either it's Bo for India or Joy for Indonesia. And if you're from Malaysia, you can ask me. Feel free to drop us a message in WhatsApp or email to us. Um, so thank you for your time, and also thank you, Yuri, for this webinar session. So we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.